Hello everybody, my name is Datoon, and today we're talking about how to make a professional talking head video. Let's get started. A talking head video is a simple yet effective way to connect with your audience. This way of making videos allows the viewers to be able to connect with you and your message on a more personal level. So let's talk about how we can turn an idea into a finalized talking head video. Let's start with the pre-production. First, you'll start by writing a clear and concise script. You'll start with the ideas that you have for the video, and then you will take that idea and then turn it to a script so that you can organize the structure of the video within the script. This will allow you to be focused, it'll allow you to be structured, and it'll allow you to make sure that you are able to deliver the message that you want to your audience in a way that makes sense, is clear, is focused, and your audience can get the information. Also, remember to practice your delivery. This will let you be more engaging and natural in front of the camera. The second thing that you need to focus in the pre-production stage is location. You'll need to find a quiet location that doesn't have too many distracting noise or too many busy things happening in the background. That'll let you focus on one, telling your story to the camera, but also making sure that your background isn't distracting towards your viewers. Sometimes you don't have the most amount of space, and sometimes you just gotta work with what you have. That might mean that you have to take a busy space and just focus in on one corner so that you can have a clean background. You can be able to get your point across without your audience seeing too much of what's going on outside the room. Third thing that you need to plan in the pre-production stage is your attire, your clothing, your fit. Attire builds off of what we were talking about in the location piece. You don't want to wear something that's distracting, that'll take the viewer's eyes away from your message. Your message needs to be clear, and that means your clothes can't be distracting or too loud or too noisy for your audience. While saying that, make sure you're dressing for your audience and the message that you're trying to get across to them. Next, let's get into the production stage of a talking head video. The very first thing we're going to talk about is camera setup. Camera setup is kind of important because it's kind of what captures the footage. So it's not set up properly, you're not going to have good footage to use. So it's important. The very first thing that we need to focus on is where is the camera set up. You need to make sure that the cameras are roughly around eye level so you can have a flattering angle. Too high and you might be looking like you're in a scary movie, and too low you look mini-me. So having the camera roughly around eye level allows you to be able to communicate your message across, and it allows you to be a little more personal because I can see you and you can see me. Also, another thing with the camera setup, make sure your camera is stabilized. A tripod is a great way to stabilize your footage. You might be sitting around 20-30 minutes until you get your full script out. So having your camera on some kind of tripod or stabilized in some way allows you to not really have to think about, hey, what's going on with the camera? So having some kind of secure stabilization is going to really allow you to get into your bag and really focus in on, hey, we're here. The second thing in the production phase that we need to think about is lighting. Regardless of how good the camera is, if the lighting isn't top notch, you are going to have a problem. So what does that mean? We need to think about how we're going to light the subject. There's multiple ways that we can do it. Natural light is always the best, always the easiest. Find a window, be outside. Just make sure that you can get enough sunlight shining onto you so that we can clearly see you, so that you look great, so that you feel great, and everything is kind of put together. Being in a dark room and trying to get your message across really wouldn't go over well if people can't see you, or you're looking too blurry, or if you're using a DSLR camera or a mirrorless camera, or honestly, if you're even using a phone. And then you have to bump up the ISO to make up for you being in the dark. You start getting this grainy things all over the place called artifacts, and it doesn't look good. So we counteract that by having good lighting. Bonus tip, if you are lighting, something that you need to think about is making sure that you have soft light. A couple ways that you can have soft light is to use some kind of diffusion. If you have light set up, you can use soft boxes, grids to kind of make sure the light is more flattering on the face. If you don't and you need a quick DIY setup, shower curtains. Put a shower curtain up by a window, just hanging up there. Especially if you're getting sunlight from a window, you don't get harsh shadow, so it falls off your face a little easier. It looks nicer and more flattering to the face. Just a quick little tip. Back to your regularly scheduled program. Peace. The third thing in the production phase that you need to think about is composition. Composition is how you look on the camera. It's how I look between these four walls. So what do we need to think about? We talked a little bit about it earlier, is having the camera eye level so that I am looking sort of towards the camera. I feel I have a personal connection with the camera. Second, if I'm doing a talking head video, it's best to be in the center, as close to the center as possible, so that it feels like we're having a one-on-one conversation. Next, I think we want to think about is what is going on in the background. Is it too distracting? Is other things taking your eyes away from the most important subject in this video, which is you, the person person talking to the camera. If something else is distracting, something else too bright, something else is taking their eyes away from you, then get rid of it. And when framing the talking head videos, try to get the frame roughly around towards your stomach, a little bit above your head. You want to give yourself a little bit of headroom over top for multiple reasons. One, it doesn't feel like your head's getting cut off in the video. Two, when you're editing in post, you have an opportunity to kind of expand the video a little bit if you have a little bit of room along the sides. Also, because it's a talking head video, you don't really need to see the legs. So think of it like a Zoom call. Just keep your kind of stomach up and you're good to go. Now, you've done the pre-production, you have your script, you have your location. Now it's time to be in front of the camera and film. What do you got to do next? Let's start with talking to the camera. This can be really weird at times, but you'll get used to it after doing it a couple times. The first thing that you want to talk about is speaking clearly. You want to be able to enunciate your words. You want to be clear as you speak. You don't want to be bumbling through the words, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to mess up and then redo it again so that you're able to get your point across so that you can be as clear as you possibly can. You're going to make mistakes. It's going to be fine, but you have the script, you read the script. Just keep it on hand and close to you so that you can read over it, so that you can feel confident, and don't be afraid to mess up. You can mess up and then edit it out later. Don't worry about it, but take your time so that you're able to get your message across to the audience, which is the most important part. The next thing in the filming stage is body language. Body language, body language, body language. What are your hands doing? What is your face doing? How are you presenting? Are you focused? Are you upright? Are you slouched down? All of these things are important when trying to deliver your message. You want to be able to exude confidence to your audience, but you also want to show them that you're interested in delivering the message that you're giving. Some people like to actively use their hands. Some people like to keep their hands, and I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. It's really kind of preference. I'm an active hand user. My hands need to be moving as I'm sending a message. So whatever works for you, but being able to explain things and actually be invested into the message that you're delivering is important. So having your body show that off too, that's important too. So get it done. The next thing we're going to talk about is this. It's that eye contact. It's that focus. It's that personal level. It's that you and me. And the reason I'm doing that is simple. Eye contact really lets you connect with your audience, showing a little bit of connection, some intimacy, and makes it a little bit more personal because I'm looking at you, because I care, and I really want to help you. So let's keep looking at you. This creates a sense of intimacy and authenticity. Now that we're finished shooting, we're heading into the last phase, post-production phase. The first thing we're gonna do in the post-production is edit the videos. That means getting rid of the ums, getting rid of the ahs, getting rid of the dead space, turning it into one concise clip. No extra stuff, make it nice, make it smooth. After trimming any unnecessary footage, you can turn it into a cohesive story. Put the video together so it can tell the message, add music, add graphics, add sound effects, add different visual effects that's gonna help you enhance the storytelling, whether it be B-roll, whether it be, like I said, sound effects, graphics, animations, motion graphics. Turn your rough work into something that is, one, entertaining, but also lets you get your message across. The next thing that you want to look into in the post-production phase is color correction. Sometimes your colors could be tinted one way, sometimes your colors could just be completely off, and so we got to make sure that the colors look good so that it makes sense towards the viewer. And the final thing that we want to talk about is final touches. What we do in the final touches is just editing. It's like when you're writing a book or writing an essay. You got to edit it and make sure that it's ready to be presented, but right before you present it, you always got to make sure someone proofreads it. So this final touch is essentially the proofreading phase. What we're doing here is just going through the video to make sure I'm not missing anything. I got everything that I wanted out of the video. Everything looks good. Sometimes I'll have someone else look at the video for me, give me their feedback, and I'll be, okay, do I need to make this change, or does the video look good? Oh, it looks great, perfect. And then it's ready to be sent out and ready to be posted in wherever you want it, whether it be social media platforms, whether it be sent out to people directly, whether it be a presentation for your firm or your organization or your business. And there you have it. With these tips and tricks, you are now ready to make professional talking head videos. You can turn whatever idea you have, and following these steps that I've laid out for you, you can now make your own professional talking head videos like this one for yourself. If you have any questions or would like to learn any more, you can always contact me at contact@dotakesmedia.com, or just leave me a comment below, and I will be more than happy to help you with any of your talking head videos, or if you have any general video production questions. Hey, and remember, you only get better by practicing. More reps, more reps, more reps. You only get better by doing it. So if this is something that you really want to do, take the time to practice. Take the time to follow the steps. Take the time to get to where you want to get to by doing the work. And if you do the work, you're going to get the results that's meant for you. So the tune from Dotakes Media. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me. Don't be afraid to subscribe. Don't be afraid to follow. And don't be afraid to keep looking out for work that I post, present, and get ready for you. If you have any questions, like I said, contact me at contact@dotakesmedia.com. Leave me a message below. And on that note, peace.